Welcome back to Fargo Watch Party. I'm JD Ferrell.
And I'm Stephen Meriwether. Fargo Watch Party is brought to you by the Modern Podcast Network.
We are
And we're
actually,
back.
yeah, I'm not lying to you. We're doing episode 3.
We are back.
Yeah.
Um, we there are more scenes this episode of the middle Gerhard child eating food.
What was he eating over there when they were having the little talking about the family possibly going to war? It was a plate of potatoes?
It was a plate of something that he offered the other group that came in. When he was talking to his son about going to college, he went in the fridge and ate a turkey leg or something. He's always eating. To the point where it's a thing now.
Yeah.
Like he's not in a scene where he's not eating.
So what do you think about the whole scene with the war? Do you think they're equipped to take on the Kansas City mob if it comes to it?
Of course not. Dodd, I've been saying this. Dodd is an idiot. Dodd doesn't know what he's doing. He has this idea of what it's like to be a mobster, but he's never had to do anything. His mom even admitted that they've been a peacetime family since the Kennedys. Dodd doesn't know what war means, but he's a mobster, so he thinks he knows. Clearly, this is a Kansas City mafia.
I mean, she's saying they're big time.
I think the 3 people that they sent over can take out the whole group by themselves. Not to mention whatever resources the Kansas City mafia has. So I think the mom is thinking smart. I think selling part of the business. Although I agree with the middle child, I forget his name. I agree with his son when he said it doesn't look like these are people who only eat half of the pie. Like, I agree with that. I think they want the whole thing. The Kansas City Mafia group does. But
Yeah.
that's a good place to start. And if you get money from a sale, and then you continue to earn your annual income, like that ain't bad.
Yeah. I mean,
That ain't bad.
eventually, do you think that the Kansas City mob legitimately would let them operate and pay them if it was all?
I mean, for a few seasons,
Yeah.
and then they would all not be in business anymore. But take their money, live their life. Like, Dodd really wants to be a gangster, and that's going to be his undoing. That's going to be his undoing.
And I was wrong in my prediction. I thought Dodd was going to shoot one of the Kitchen brothers. I thought.
Yeah. Can we also talk about how the poor typewriter, the guy who sells the typewriters, he was suspicious. Lou recognized that there was something weird with him. He thought at that moment, so they were at the courthouse. He went to confess, or he went to sort of give information. Yeah. He chickened out. He went back to his car. Lou saw him sort of think about it. He was in the courthouse. He was going to knock on the door, but then he walked away. Then he came back, but then he walked away. And I forget what Lou called him, like
a weasel, or
he was Weasley, yes, something like that. And Lou wanted to take him in and ask him more questions, and he got away, and he thought right then that he was saved. So Lou was interrogating Skip. Skip, once he got away from Lou and the cop, the Fargo cop Lou was with while he was in Fargo, Skip thought he was home free. He wanted to go visit Rye. He wanted to, Skip now knows that this judge is dead, so he's trying to talk to Rye to figure out what's going on. Like, why did he kill this judge? Like, that's not what they said. So he goes to his apartment. Simone is there, who is Dodd's daughter, and she's like, "I'm lonely. Why don't you come in?" Anyway, so he gets dragged out there. Hansy, who's Dodd's henchman, is there. They drag him out, and the reason I'm saying all this is because at the very end of the episode, there's a scene where Dodd is there, and they're trying to get out of Skip where Rye is, and Rye's like, and Skip is like, I don't have any information, like, but if you give me a few days, like, I can find them, like, please, like, I don't know, like, I don't know anything. And then they tell him to get in a hole that they dug, and he just jumps in.
I mean, yeah.
He doesn't try to run. Like, I understand, like, you're gonna die in that moment, but I'm not just gonna jump in my own grave.
You're right. You at least can push me in and something.
Yeah, like shoot me in the back or something. Like, I'm not gonna jump in my own grave to then have hot like concrete or whatever spilled on top of me. Like, I'm not trying to go out like that. And like poor Skip, turns out that his typewriters that are actually spaceships aren't gonna make it to market. But ish. I just don't know why I wouldn't go out like that.
I mean, I was rooting for my boy Skip.
For
I liked Skip.
For Skip. Poor man.
Electric typewriters are the future. They're not just for women.
They're not just for women. And then for a moment you could see in his eyes that he actually thought Simone was onto him. Like he was gonna get something. Nope.
All right, so we're on to kind of the important scenes of this episode.
Well, one more before we get there. Can we also talk about how Hansy was just sort of gutting a rabbit?
Oh yeah.
You know, just in the middle of the kitchen, and then we saw at the very beginning he has a special affection with rabbits because when he was young, a magician came and pulled a rabbit out of a hat, and so he has a special affection to rabbits. But he was just gutting it in the kitchen like that was
it was nothing.
Peak Minnesota stuff right there.
By the way, I also love the scene Mike Mulligan. I didn't catch it till the second time around when he said, you know, something about like Richard Nixon, and then when he left, he's like, "I am not a criminal."
Yeah, I like that too. I like that too. Mike Mulligan, I like him.
Yeah.
I
feel like he's gonna fuck some shit up.
He's sharp.
Yeah.
Like he knows what he's doing. All right, let's get on. Big scenes.
Big scenes. What? You want to retell the hairdresser scene where your Big Molly comes in?
Well, I think it's worth noting that I think this is the first episode of the season we haven't seen Baby Molly.
Yeah. Thank God.
Which, I would rate this episode a 1 out of 10 for that reason alone. But as we know now, Betsy has cancer, and so Betsy's at the hairdresser. Peggy Bloomquist works at the hairdresser. Betsy's there. She's talking about how she might lose all her hair. That's what she's hearing. Peggy's like, "Oh, I have a friend who went through this. They kept all their hair, but they lost their eyebrows." And Betsy was like, "Oh, I'd rather lose the hair." Then her pops walks in, Hank, and he's like, "Hey, Lou called. He's gonna be late for dinner." Betsy was like, "Yeah, I know. I figured." And then she was like, Hank, Pops, I was thinking about this case. You said that you found the car of the gunman still at the property, and then you found his shoe at the property. That doesn't make any sense. Like if he killed somebody, why wouldn't he drive away? That doesn't make any sense. What if he was hit by a car?
Peggy's freaking the fuck out.
And then Peggy's coworker was like, "You're right, Peggy, didn't you?" And then Peggy's like, whoa, this makes no sense. What are they gonna do? They're just gonna hit someone and then drive home with this person?
With the body on the car?
With the body on, and then Hank's like, "I gotta agree with Peggy. What are you gonna do? You're gonna hit someone, drive home with them, and then just go home and cook dinner?" Like, that's crazy. And Peggy's like, "A, that's exactly what I did. And B, Thank God it is so crazy that the cop doesn't believe him. But she is spooked. So at this point, she goes to the butcher shop. She gets Ed. Poor Ed. Poor. Let me just say again. Poor Ed. Like, I feel like this man. She gets her husband from the butcher shop. She's like, he's gonna be back after lunch. It's a family emergency. He's like, what are you doing? Slow down. And she's like, they know they have a suspicion. Stupid Betsy's running her mouth, and she said that someone might have hit him. Now that they're thinking this way, we need to get the car fixed immediately. And he's like, what are you talking about? It's the middle of the day. Like, what are we going to do? And then he sees Rye's picture on a wanted for murder little pamphlet taped to a window. And he got spooked right then, too. Like, this is a thing that is happening, and they killed this man. And so he got spooked. And so next thing we see, they are both in their car in the middle of nowhere. And Ed's like, are you sure this is going to work? And Peggy says, it'll work. My uncle did this all the time. If you get in a wreck while you're drunk, the insurance doesn't like to pay for it. So what he used to do is he would just park his car, wait till he sobered up, and then get in another accident and say that both things happened. And that's how he got the insurance to pay for it. And he did it for most of his life, and so it's a thing. Peggy just said that like it was nothing. Yeah. Like, they're about to commit insurance fraud, and like this is part of the family business. And so poor Ed, Peggy gets out of the car because of course she does, because she's got her eyes already a little beat up from the initial accident where she ran over somebody and then brought him home. So Ed tries to ram into this tree. There's ice on the ground, so he spins out. He hits the tree with the back of the car, has to do it again because the front of the car is what needs to be damaged. Finally gets it right the second time. He has, and I quote, the whiplash. And what we see is a tow truck taking their car away after just having been in an accident. And the only person who knows that there was a hole in the window before this accident is Peggy's coworker, because she saw the car in the garage in episode 1. And so that's a leak that Peggy, that either they're going to have to clean up or it's going to come out. But so far, they're going to get their car fixed. The big hole in the window is going to be gone, and Peggy's going to think it's all behind them.
Yeah, and the coworker Constance, she's already onto her. She noticed she's been a little jumpy.
Oh, but and the coworker's smart too.
Yeah,
like her and Peggy are going to go on this retreat. I think, if you ask me, Peggy is going to try to take her out on this retreat.
What?
Peggy's going to go with her coworker, and she's going to come back alone.
I completely disagree. My prediction, I think they're going to hook up.
Oh, no.
Like,
no. I would have maybe said that if Peggy didn't kill someone and is now, like, really trying to cover that up.
But I think they're going to hook up and maybe try and run away together or something like that.
You think she's going to tell? Oh, no.
Yeah, because they're going to form a bond. Oh,
no. Peggy needs to go full Malvo and just take her out.
Wow. No, she does not have that kind of capability. She doesn't even process.
That fits in her sociopath MO.
I just can't see her actually doing the act. Like, what is she going to hit her with her car again? Like, she's not going to stab her or choke her.
She's going to hit her with her car, drive the back way home, and then ask her husband to grind her up. And poor Ed with the whiplash is going to do it again.
He's going to do it again. You're right.
Because that's his wife.
Yeah. And he wants some babies.
He wants some babies. This man's going to end up killing How many people? Dozens of people. By
He
the
don't
end
know.
of
He
this.
don't kill him. He just grinds him up and disposes of the body. Sells it.
He sells it.
Yeah.
Business is booming.
I mean, he wants to take over the shop. He got to cut corners somehow.
Oh my God.
Selling meat on the side. That's good. 150-pound meat right there.
Oh my God. So I'm legitimately not sure if Peggy thinks that this whole situation is officially wrapped up with the bow and it's over, or she's going to do something to her coworker because she knows that's the only loose end left.
Wow.
And then Ed's just along for the ride. Like,
poor guy. I think
the
Ed
man-
dies.
Ed literally grinded up a human being and then goes back and works there every day. Like, and I don't think he's a sociopath. I just think he's just along for the ride.
He's content. He's
He's just along for the ride. He doesn't think too deeply about things, and sometimes I wish I could do that. But he's just one of those people.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But the car is going to get fixed. One of the big scenes of this episode, the car is fixed.
Yeah.
And the car is fixed, and Betsy has an idea. She's planting seeds. We'll see if anything grows from those seeds.
I think Lou's gonna get shot.
You think Lou is going to get shot? Lou's playing with fire. I loved his line, "I'm not from around here, so I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be terrified or not."
That's what he thinks. He's such a badass. Like, go back to Minnesota.
I mean, he does think he does think he's a badass. That is true, but when he's up against Dodd Gerhardt, he is.
Yeah. He pulls up on the Gerhardt farm against him and that other cop with like 30 other people, guns on him, and he really wants to try and act like, he's like, should we tell them who's the authorities here? Like, come on now. This is Gerhardt turf, buddy.
No, like, I don't know about here, but in Minnesota, when a police officer asks you a question, you answer.
Nah, that's what you got to know who you're dealing with. This is the Gerhardt family.
Can we just remind everyone who the authorities are here?
See, that's what you were hating on Dodd. Dodd's going to be the one who shoots Lou in the leg. I thought it was a Kitchen brother. It's going to be Dodd because he accused Rye of murder, and that pissed him off.
I mean, I think there's an equal chance that it is Dodd or Peggy.
It's Peggy. I could just see her with a shotgun, just like scared for her life, and just like, oh, whoopsies.
And what has really traumatized Lou is he woke up right before he was about to go in that meat grinder.
What?
But no, I agree with Lou that if I'm coming to, even if I come to your turf, I'm not going to surrender my weapon. Like, that's the only thing I got. And, so let's describe the scene. The reason why Lou is at the Gerhardt property is because they found Rye's prints on the murder weapon. And so he's going to investigate. He's going to the family to figure out where Rye is so he can, take Rye into custody.
Can we state how you said they didn't have fingerprints back then?
I mean, I did say that. I think there's some slip ups in the show. This was what? This was like the 60s.
I think 70s, like mid 70s.
70s. It was before computers were a thing.
They analyzed them, hand to hand analysis.
Okay, so it was done by a human being. Sure thing. I'm surprised he didn't Google the Gerhardt family. But so he goes to he wants to talk to the Gerhardt family. He gets paired with this poor cop from Fargo who, and I quote, it might have been better for you to find your own fingerprints on that gun over a member of the Gerhardt family. Like, if I heard that and I was about to go there, I'd ask for a different cop. Like, no offense, but you're not up for the task.
I mean, that's probably the whole town. If the Gerhardt, it's North Dakota.
I mean, if that's the whole town, then I'm going by myself. Like, just point me in the right direction. Like, I'm just going by myself at that point. So they go. There's armed guards waiting at the front. They wave them in. They pull up, and some guys like, okay, hand over your weapons before you go inside. And this Fargo cop just gives him the weapon. Just gives this guy his weapon. And Lou's like, excuse me, like, do you know who the authority is here? Like, I'm not giving you my gun. And then the guy's like, well, you're not getting in there with your gun. But thankfully, Floyd, the mom, comes out. She's like, why are you here? And Lou says, Rye's connected. Rye murdered somebody. We need to bring him in. Where is he? And then he's like, the Floyd says, you're not, like, no. Yeah. Like, you're not going to take my son in. Bear comes out, I think, with another plate of food.
I think he does, yeah.
Dodge shows up.
Pulls up, a boy in his car, baby. He's strong.
He pulls up. Lou makes him look like a fool.
Oh.
He does. Dod's talking to this other cop, like, you're going to come up here and do this. And Lou says, I'm the one who found his prints. You're dancing with the wrong woman. You're dancing with the wrong woman. And Dod says, what did you say to me? And Lou says, I found his prints. You should be talking to me. And Dod looks all angry. He ain't going to do nothing, but he looks all angry. And thankfully for Dod, because Dod was about to meet his maker right then. Bear's son, Charlie, comes out and says, Hansel's looking for you, Dod, or Hansy's looking for you, Dod. Dod's like, not right now. Like, kind of what that scene reminded me of, like, a little kid who's, like, on a standoff with his friend, and his mom's like, come in for dinner. And he's like, not now, Mom. But, of course,
hater.
He's a little kid, so he's like, okay, Charlie, I'll go talk to Hansy. And he shoos him off. He, like, winks at his other henchmen to, like, shoo him off. Like he was going to do anything. Like, I'm sorry. And that happened, and then his own daughter calls him out a few scenes later. So Dod's a nobody.
Oh, I'm just saying, if it ain't Dod, who's the scary person? Because none of these people are scaring Lou, apparently, because he's Batman of Minnesota.
Batman? He is.
That's what I'm like. Who's the man that has him sitting on the porch?
I mean, maybe it's Mike Milligan. Like, Lou was spooked at Skip's typewriter shop.
I guess because they had the shotguns on them.
Yeah. Like, he went home and talked about it. Like, he was spooked.
He went home and talked about it.
He did. Lou strikes me as a leave work at work kind of guy.
No, he doesn't.
And Betsy strikes me as a you're not going to talk about work at home kind of girl.
They talk about it all the fucking time because her dad's the sheriff.
I mean, maybe Betsy allows it, but I don't think Lou's coming home and telling his wife that 2 shotguns were pointed at him.
I feel like they would be like, them Kitchen brothers, they pulled 2 shotguns on me. How did they, huh? Yeah. But I think they left town. Well, that's
Wow.
good. That's a Minnesota talk.
I want to season Minnesota. I want to say Mike Milligan's line because I think it was awesome. So say the quote because you like it and I do too.
He said, what did Nixon say? Peace and honor. Something like that. Then he turns around and looks at Lou and says, I am not a criminal.
And I think he spooked him. I think Lou spooked.
Yeah. Because he just gets in their head. He plays mind games with you.
He does. It's Mike playing mind games with you, and the fact that the Kitchen brothers don't speak.
Yeah. And they're twins. A little trippy. Twins always freak people out.
Yeah. At one point, he was like, Lou was like, well, I think I saw everything I needed to see here. I'm just going to head out. And Mike was like, no, you're not. You stay here. I was getting worried. I thought something bad was going to happen to Lou.
Yeah.
But then he was like, then Mike followed that up by saying, no, we're actually going to leave.
But that's a power play right there. It's like, no. You think you're a cop? Nah, you stay, buddy. Like, we're good here.
Yeah. It is a power play. And then I loved how the Kitchen brothers were wearing their trench coats, and so they just like buckle their shotgun to their like belt buckle, and the trench coat hides it.
Yeah.
They're professionals.
Yeah, they're cooler than I thought. I thought one was gonna be dead, but he ain't.
They're professionals, and Dodd is very much not a professional.
Dodd's gonna fuck some people up. I'm telling you, Dodd's
Very much not a
Dodd. I have Lou get shot in the leg, and I think it's gonna be my boy Dodd.
If his daughter Simone is gonna be the person who actually gets in her dad.
Oh. I'll take
it. Best line of the episode was not the Mike Milligan line. It was Simone at the very end after her dad hits her, and she says, "Oh, does that get you hard? Hit me again."
Oh yeah, that wasn't cool. Just because then I'm like, oh, did he used to rape his daughter?
I don't think he raped his daughter. I just think that she knows that he like gets off of hitting people. Anyway, so what we learned this episode was that Peggy and Ed might be off the hook because they fixed their car.
It might be, yeah.
Might be off the hook, and for the first time, Lou knows exactly who he's dealing with. He knows exactly who the Gerhardt family is now, and he even ran into the Kitchen brothers and Mike Milligan, the Kansas City folks, who Hank, his father-in-law, already ran into. He knows who all the characters are. He's going to solve the case.
Oh,
no. Little Molly, baby Molly solved the case. He's going that's just, it runs in the family.
I disagree. I totally disagree.
So he's going to solve the case, but, we'll see how that ends up happening.
Yeah. I think the coworker Constance and Peggy, they hook up. They do a little thing.
I think let's move on to predictions. My prediction for next episode is that Peggy's coworker says something about the car to Hank or Lou.
Oh, no. She's going to keep it in-house because she likes Peggy. No, she's keeping it in-house.
Okay, give me a prediction.
That's what I told you. Lou gets shot in the leg by Dodd.
Dodd is not shooting him. It is 100% going to be Mike.
No.
Mike Milligan is shooting Lou, but it's not Dodd. I'm sorry.
And I think that Constance and Peggy, they hook up, they kiss, or they confide. They have some type of really close bonding moment. Because, she's like, you like it dangerous. And she was like, coming up close on, I think there's something there. There's something there. And I don't think that Peggy's straight. I think that's why she wants to go to this seminar.
If that happens, it's just going to be to pull her in so she can slit her throat.
What? This man.
I'm telling you, Peggy. I don't trust Peggy.
She's not a killer.
She's literally a killer.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, the manslaughter is still.
I think there's something wrong with her.
Actually, no, she's not a killer. Ed's the killer. I forgot. Ed actually killed him.
She's a killer. I think we can both agree that she's a killer.
I thought she's actually not. She's actually a very,
She thought she was a killer,
She did.
and she was okay with that.
Yes. Okay. I will admit to that. Yes.
Poor Dodd. He's gonna get killed by his own daughter. That's sad.
Ooh. I could go with that one.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then Bear, there could be a Gerhardt, Kansas City Mafia, Minnesota Police 3-way shootout. Bear's just gonna be in the kitchen eating.
I know. I feel like they really gave his size a little under. Like, to be eating that much, he better be huge. Like, look like Andre the Giant. All right, that's it for this episode. It was honestly better the second time I watched it than the first. I'm not going to lie to you.
I mean, it was a 1 out of 10. No Baby Molly, 1 out of 10. I stand by that.
Hey, we're going to get 3 scenes of Baby Molly watch, episode 4. They're bringing us in.
10 out of 10. Can already feel it.
But that's it. That's it on Fargo Watch Party. You can catch, Brianna Donnell with the Modern Woman podcast on Mondays. I hope y'all been listening. We got a Modern Man podcast with me. If you don't listen to Fargo Watch Party, which you are clearly, then you can also catch me on a Modern Man podcast. That's Wednesdays. We release that every Wednesday. And then we also.
A lot happening on the Modern Podcast Network.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them? You want to tell them what's happening?
No, that's it. We got a Modern Woman every Monday, a Modern Man every Wednesday, Fargo Watch Party every Friday. Putting out stuff on the YouTube channel. Go watch that. Subscribe, like. Before we start recording, we're talking about some merch, some apparel that might be coming. Hopefully it looks nice.
Hopefully it looks nice.
Maybe has some interesting ideas. We'll see if they actually pan out in real life.
Okay.
But the Modern Podcast Network is early. If you're a faithful listener right now, I think you should get something.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna figure that out. If you've been with us from day one, you're gonna be rewarded for being an early listener to Fargo Watch Party. We'll figure that out, and then over time we'll have more and more.
Yeah, there will be a drawing, and we'll be giving away some merch. We don't want to possibly.
Just keep listening. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Just keep listening.
Or watching.
If you want merch, keep listening, keep watching, like, subscribe, tell your friends, do all that sort of stuff. It's coming.
Yeah.
We're going. We're going to keep going. We're committed to doing the rest of the season and then the rest of all the seasons for Fargo. Fargo Watch Party every Friday.
Yeah.
Except last week.
We gave you something. It's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free content.
Yeah.
All right.
Something hit your podcast player inbox. That's what's important. All right, JJ.
All right. I'll see you next week, Steven.
See you next week.
Bye.